Hello and welcome back to Digital Assets Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in your corner of the world. Cuba becomes the latest country to authorize and regulate cryptocurrencies like BTC. So Cuba's government said it will recognize and regulate cryptocurrencies for payments on the Caribbean island. And a resolution published in the official gazette said the country's central bank will set rules for such currencies and determine how to license providers of related services within Cuba. And the Cuban resolution, which will come into force on September 15th, regulates the use of certain virtual assets and commercial transactions, as well as the licensing of providers of these services and operations related to financial exchange and collection or payment activities in or from Cuban territory. And I want to thank AdPucci1967 for tagging me in that article. Also, too, staying on the theme of the global growth and usage around the world, Digital Tech Forum highlights billion-dollar investment opportunities in Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia successfully concluded its Digital Tech Forum on promising investment opportunities for a digital future. On Tuesday, the one-day forum brought together the international IT and emerging tech (ET) industries, global investors, and digital technology experts. So as they discussed throughout the article, the fintech and the IT around the global market, but the opportunity that's happening now, as well as the opportunity for investments in the kingdom. So cloud services are expected to make up 30% of the total ICT spend in the kingdom by 2030. And Saudi Arabia is the first digital riser among the G20 countries and ninth in the world for digital skills literacy. So the next article, we have crypto watchers eager for signals on the Fed's digital dollar plans. And it was discussing the report coming out next month detailing its thinking on the digital dollar and stating in the white paper basically the policy making, and stating while the paper would likely kick off a further process of public dialogue and internal policy making rather than bring resolution, many expect the Fed to use the report to signal whether the digital dollar will become a reality. And the European Bank providing 50 million USD in trade finance to Turkish lender. And with funds, Turk economy, Benkasi, to level up support for exporters and importers. And one thing that I found very interesting about this as well is as we get into the EBRD and its connection back to the ITFA and XinFin, because let's get into it just for a moment. Trade is global, and in order to facilitate global coordination of those advocacy efforts, ITFA set up an expert and coordination team in place in Q2 2020 that we called Technology Experts for Regulatory Action, or TERA. Founding members include the TradeStream, the Anigio, Casterman Advisory, Trade Tech, SMBC, and the group has since expanded with representatives from JP Morgan, Citi, Bolero, UN Central, the HBL, HSBC, and EBRD. So you can see the connection right back to XinFin as well. And I think that's very exciting. But in trade finance, they are the leader. So Mark Cuban, being a little frustrated, slams the SEC chairman for sketchy crypto regulatory policies and stating the SEC has been facing criticism for a long time as regards to its guidelines from crypto policies to others intended to protect investors' funds. However, the Rippleverse SEC lawsuit heightened the criticism, and many prominent market players have been speaking up continuously and taking jabs at SEC officials. So the SEC chairman gets heat after taking to Twitter to defend regulatory policies. And very recently, billionaire Mark Cuban shot at the SEC chairman Gary Gensler in a series of tweets. And right after the SEC chair talked at length about how the guidelines set in place for investors are designed to curb deceptive conduct carried out by private funds that put retailers at risk, stating, if someone asks a lawyer, accountant, or advisor if something is over the line, maybe it's time to step back from the line. Going right up to the edge of a rule or searching for some ambiguity in the text or a footnote may not be consistent with the law and its purpose. The spirit of the law is about protecting investors. Our rigorous enforcement regime at SEC Gov is about following the facts and the law wherever they may lead on behalf of investors and working families. So Mark Cuban stands up to Gary Gensler and speaks against unfair regulatory policies. And I think there are a great deal of retail investors who give a great deal of standing ovations and cheers to Mark Cuban for his stance on that as well. Also, India wants a trade finance platform at Gujarat FinTech Hub. And again, whenever we think trade finance here, we think XinFin's XDC. But I think also this one gets a little more exciting also because of the connection to Ripple over in India as well for its cross-border transactions. And then I thought it was funny as I was reading through that right on their page, the second cryptocurrency or digital asset listed was Ripple as well. And again, the next article stating where SEC employees permitted to trade XRP and Ether, and Ripple wants to find out. So Ripple wants to determine whether SEC employees had traded XRP before the issuance of the formal investigation order. Ripple has filed a motion with Magistrate Judge Sarah Netburn to compel the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission to produce additional documents that reflect its digital asset trading policies. And that would be very interesting to see if within their own rules, had they traded some XRP, especially after their stance today. So what kind of a position would they be put in as well if they had? And there was a trail of that to show. That'd be very interesting to follow. So the beleaguered company wants to find out whether or not the SEC employees were allowed to trade XRP, Ether, Bitcoin, as well as other cryptocurrencies. And in addition, Ripple is seeking to obtain annual certifications that show the personal cryptocurrencies holdings of the agency's staff members. It is willing to receive such information in an aggregate form, and the defendant claims that their requests are neither burdensome nor disproportionate, stating, "Our request is neither burdensome nor disproportionate to the needs of the case. The information sought should be readily available and appears to have already been reviewed by the SEC's counsel in the course of our meet and confer process." And guys, again, I want to remind you, this is not financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. I want to say thanks to Surf Meister, our VIP on Patreon, and to each and every one of you. But before we go, I want to leave you with a final thought. And for today's final thought, it's simply believe in yourself. Much love, and we will catch you in the next one.